Hello and welcome to Indian Masterminds. My name is Bhakti Kothari and I'm here with yet another hardworking IAS officer. Now, how often have you come across an officer who's trying his best to rebuild a broken up district and giving it an entirely new identity? Well, today we have with us IAS officer Mr. Swapnil Tembe, who's the district collector of East Garo Hills of Meghalaya and is lighting up the paths of thousands of children who wanted to go to school but could not because of its poor condition. Welcome, Mr. Swapnil.
Thank you.
Beginning with our session, please tell us something about your journey into the civil service.
It started back in college when I just started thinking about what I wanted to do, and I was interested in helping people, and plus I was interested in management and administration. So I thought this will be the best thing to do, but because of certain things, and I was in IIT Kharagpur, so I'm an engineer. So at that time, that much prevalent knowledge was not there how to approach this exam and all that. So and because of certain compulsions, I had to take up some other job. So then I gave it a break. For two
Okay.
years, I worked in consulting in Hyderabad, and when I had enough savings, I came to Delhi. I left my job and came to Delhi, and then started my preparation. I was also simultaneously teaching in a coaching. Being an engineer, it's easy to teach maths and this English for CSAT exam.
Yeah.
So I used to teach, and also I used to prepare simultaneously.
Okay.
And so of course the UPSC is a tough nut to crack. So in the first attempt, I was also giving other exams, so I qualified this ITBP assistant commandant. So I joined that in 2013, and then in my second attempt I got Indian Revenue Service Customs, so I joined that in 2014. And
Yeah.
finally in the third attempt I got IS, so I joined in 2015.
Okay. We've seen that you're quite active on social media as well, and you've uploaded various videos on YouTube regarding upcoming aspirants, questionnaires, communication skills, interview practices, etc. So, please tell me, how did you come up with this idea and how successful has it been?
Actually, I was a lot into, because as I said, I was teaching in a coaching. So I love teaching. I love interacting with students and the youth. So wherever I go, and in my district, also in my subdivision earlier, I used to take counseling sessions for the students. But then at a point, a lot of messages came and a lot of emails that we also want to know, we also want to know. So I thought if there is I can record it and keep it at a online platform like YouTube, so anyone can see that anytime they want, because we
Yeah.
cannot physical sessions are not possible at all the schools, at all the colleges. And YouTube is a platform now. It's the age of the smartphones, so since most of the kids, at least in the urban area, they are having, so I thought it will be a good idea to keep it as a repository so that it can be used anywhere.
And please tell me how these videos are helping the students who are planning to crack UPSC in the upcoming years.
Yes, because a lot of them are very generic in nature, that how to prepare for any competitive exam, or for the district level exam, or for UPSC, how to improve your communication skills. And so more and more, they want more topics to be covered in the future. So whenever I get time, I just take up a topic and just do the bit.
So, moving on towards your initiatives, please tell us, what is this Project Star that you've been working for and what are its components?
So when I joined in Meghalaya, that was in 2017, and Meghalaya, if you see the Acer ratings and other surveys on education, so unfortunately we are at the bottom when it comes to education. So one reason is that infrastructure at the school level, and since it's so remote, like 80% of the 80 to 90% of the area of any district will be rural, and the connectivity issues are there in terms of roads, because there are so many streams here. and in the rainy season it's not possible, in fact, to go to many of the villages. That is one. And the cellular connectivity is also not there in, I can say, for 50% of the places. So shadow areas are there. So because of, and human capital is not available, like teachers and all, because from outside, because especially Garo Hills was hit by insurgency previously. Now things are good, but previously, so there aren't any NGOs who are working in the field of education and in other fields. So because of all these factors, education has suffered, and there are a lot of out of school children. Mostly everyone drops out after class 8. So all those things were there. So we thought that whatever is available, we should channelize it into the improvement of education. So STAR stands for the school transformation by augmenting resources. So this project, initially there was no budget for it. So we just, whatever was available. So the first thing is available is us, the human resource. So I asked the line department officers to go to these schools and in their free time, and they can choose the nearest school, and then they can just adopt it. They can just talk to the teachers what help they need. If a little bit of repair is required, benches are required in some cases, some study material is required, whether syllabus is getting complete or not, just to check. So that started. And then we constantly visited various schools. More and more people joined. Some adopted and renovated the schools. So with all that, some of them even gave us funds to take our children on a exposure visit. So we sent one group to Delhi and Agra, and that was fascinating because those set of children, mostly here children, they have never been out of the district. Leave the district. I mean, mostly they have not been out of the village. So for them to going to Delhi, traveling in the metro, going to Taj Mahal and all of this is a fascinating experience, and it has opened them up. So I see a great change in them. So it started like that, and then we proposed to the government, and then when I joined here, we got funding under
Yeah.
District Innovation Fund also for this Project Star. So we expanded it. We held various competitions and gave away tablets and computers and other things. And then yeah, we collaborated with various organizations like Asim Premji Foundation, then Saurya Mandala, then there is Meghalaya. So all these have come here, and now they are training our teachers, and all this is pro bono. They are doing as a part of their work, and there's no fees charged for that. So now we are working with all these organizations, and plus we are working on ensuring that the absentism in school is curbed. So all these things are still going on, and we try to improve this Project Star every month. We take a review, and then we see what more we can do in this Project Star.
And how are you ensuring that students come to school regularly and that this absenteeism is curbed?
See, the first, there are a few factors which are very quite obvious. One is the infrastructure. So if you have a school without a roof, so nobody, no child will come, especially in rainy season. And if it's like a very dilapidated condition, so they will not prefer coming there. So that is one. So we have repaired more than 100 schools under Project Star, and then providing a good ambience is the first thing. Second thing is, once that happens, then regular inspections. Earlier, nobody talked about education because that was not a priority. But now, since we are pushing for so many years now and constant reviews, so there are a lot of manpower in terms of this BRPs and CRPs in the district. So they go, and that ensures that the teachers go there. And we try to rationalize also the posting of these teachers, so that the local those who reside near are posted in these schools, so that if the teacher is present, there is definitely all the students will come, because these students are from that very village itself. So that's not a problem. The first problem was teacher absentism. So once that is addressed, I think things keep falling in line.
And you've also initiated another project by the name of Super 30 under Project Star. So could you please tell us more about it?
Yes, so everybody knows about Super 30 that is in Bihar. There is Mr. Anand, he initiated that. So,
Yeah.
just taking an inspiration from that, we thought that the top layer of the district wasn't
Mm-hmm.
doing that great. Like they were in their 80%, they were getting even the toppers.
Hmm.
So that's nowhere as compared to the national high scorers, right?
True.
Because once they grow up and once they give this national level competition, the competition will be with across the nation, not just the state. So we wanted to take these our best students, best
Hmm.
30 students of the district, and
Hmm.
make them even better. In fact, that
Hmm.
was the tagline of the whole project.
Hmm.
And then we gave them a lot of study material. We gave them the whole booklet set of this IS study material.
Hmm.
And then we gave them tablets. We
Hmm.
gave them a lot of other books which they must read apart from the syllabus.
Hmm.
And then we tied up with Avenues, which is one organization which is giving trainings, life skills coachings and all.
Hmm.
So we train them in communication, how to talk, how to give an interview, how to do group discussion, etc., etc.
Hmm.
And the change after 1 year is phenomenal. We have completed one batch,
Hmm.
and earlier they were not even confident to introduce themselves and speak in a public and all those things. But recently we held a debate competition, and the changes in 1 year are extremely satisfying. So the idea is that we these 30 students now are very confident. They
Hmm.
have made their goals, what they want to become, and they have now the skill set to achieve it. So that's what we want to do every year, like
Hmm.
take the best students, and it will incentivize other students as well to reach that top 30. It
Exactly.
is kind of a will become a brand that okay, I am a super 30 student.
Yeah.
So that pushes a lot of students. So that is the whole idea.
So moving on, compared to several other regions of India, we've noticed that Northeast India has yet to catch up on several fronts. So what do you think is the reason behind it?
There are many. The first, I think, is the road connectivity itself is the first factor. There is
Mm-hmm.
still, even in my district, there are various villages when it rains, and Meghalaya is known for rains. So for
Yeah.
4 5 months, we have tremendous amount of rainfall.
Hmm.
So during that, because they are only connected by kacha roads, which is basically jeepable roads, there is
Mm-hmm.
no CC road or there is no like blacktop road.
Hmm.
So they are cut off from the main the whole development discourse.
Hmm.
So if some places are cut off like half of the year, then of course they cannot get the all the benefits, and they will just drag away from the whole discourse. So that
Exactly.
is one. And the second reason is again the education has not reached in these areas.
Hmm.
So as I speak even today, whomsoever is going to school in my district from rural areas, they are the first generation
Hmm.
who are going to school.
Yeah.
So their parents are they have never gone to school, they are illiterate. So that is one thing, like lack of education was always one thing. And
Hmm.
then the third thing is lack of livelihood,
Hmm.
because they were not educated, and because they were not mostly cut off from the what's happening outside.
Hmm.
So they didn't have a livelihood. So they had a, of course, self-sustaining kind of a subsistence kind of a farming model. But as we move forward, of course we need a little more, because now we are talking about education, now we are talking about health. All these things were missing,
Hmm.
which reminds me another point, that health is another issue. Now we are talking about institutional deliveries. When I joined here in 2019, the institutional delivery was only 30%. That
Okay.
means 70% women were delivering at home.
Hmm.
And here the problem is because of the diet pattern. They mostly, all women are anemic. So their hemoglobin ranges somewhere around 7 to 8, even less than 7 also.
Oh
So
God.
most of the deaths happening
Hmm.
of these pregnant women is because of anemia.
Hmm.
So even if there is a little blood loss, then it's very difficult for the mother to survive.
Yeah.
So that is improving now. We are focusing on their like what they eat. We are ensuring that they eat more green leafy vegetables and other things, so that they are not anemic. And
Hmm.
secondly, we are activating sub centers. So now we have achieved 60% institutional delivery, but still a long way to go to make it 100%. But all these factors combined, and lack of human capital, and lack of outside interventions. For example, if you see Garo Hills, there are no industries, absolutely no industry, zero industry.
Yeah.
So if you want to give jobs, so where will the jobs come from?
True.
Because government jobs are only a handful.
Yeah.
And now here people only know that the only job is government job. If they don't get government job, there's no other option.
Okay.
So entrepreneurship is also missing, industry is missing, education was missing. So all these factors, and more or less Northeast, you will see the same patterns.
Yeah.
So basically it's a difficult terrain geographically, and plus development, all these infrastructure are missing. So both
Okay.
these factors combine, that means that things will move at a very slow pace.
And according to you, what steps should be taken to overcome this issue of development in the region?
See, the first thing is, still there are some pockets where there is a issue of law and order, and safety is there, because of course in Garo Hills, if I see, the insurgency has been taken care of and it has been eliminated. But still at sometimes during the dark hours, during the night, it is not safe, because some groups are moving around, doing dacoity and the robbery and all those things. So first thing is, we have to make sure that law and order and safety is ensured. And once peace is established, then only progress can be there, which will result in prosperity. So the first thing is good law and order, and the increased surveillance, and ensuring that. Second thing is road connectivity. All weather, all year round, there should be road connectivity to all the villages. I think PMGSY scheme is a wonderful scheme, and we all these hilly areas should get more allotment, because there's so much to do in Northeast especially. So maybe there can be a separate scheme for Northeast, just on focusing on roads. And I believe that if you ensure peace, if you give roads, and of course now is a digital era, so a network. So all these three things, if you can provide, I think we have so much of resources in terms of these natural resources. The soil is good, they can grow, water is there, everything is there. So we can do very well agriculture wise. And since human, and this is a part where human, our population density is only 90 in this district. So it's a very ideal and very sustainable kind of development can take place, unlike other places.
True.
So I think these basic things can be addressed, and it can become the role model, in fact. Because if you see the rest of India, it's overdevelopment. If you see Delhi, it's too concretized. You don't see soil anywhere. You don't see much of greens anywhere. Northeast is still absolute untouched, greenery. So here we can dream of a world which is sustainable. Development is there, but at the same time we live in harmony with the nature. So that kind of a thing can be established in Northeast, which is not possible, I think, in other places.
So now, leaving behind your professional life, let's come a little bit towards your personal life. Please tell us, what are your hobbies and your personal interests, and like, what do you like doing in your free time?
This is, I think most of the time I spend in this, because this is not a profession actually. This is not a job. When we, in fact, this service is it's a public service, and this is something which I love to do. So I spend most of the time in this only. But I love football. I used to play in a little bit in college, and I've continued that. And Meghalaya, you see, football is very popular here. In fact, in Northeast, this football is very popular. So every village you go here, you will definitely find a football ground, even if anything else is there or not. But football ground will always be there. And so I'm very fortunate to be posted here. So in fact, we do play with them also. So that is continuing. And then I like running. So I have done many half marathons and marathons before. So perfect weather for running as well. So here also, something what we have started in William Nagar is William Nagar 10K, which is a voluntary run.
Okay.
So every Sunday morning, we just call everyone who wants to run. We just gather at one place, and we run 10 kilometers basically. So it's for all age groups. So it's going good. It has been we have been doing for now 2 years now,
Okay.
and we look forward to producing some some good professional runners out of this.
That's commendable, sir. And so, what
And
about?
apart from that, I like writing also. I
Oh.
had a blog before, but
Mm-hmm.
now I don't get that much time, so I just write small posts on my Facebook.
Okay, like shairis and poetries, or just like little writings?
No, it's prose.
Okay, okay, prose.
Prose.
Okay,
Just
okay.
simply prose. Yes.
And what about civil service? Would you like your kid to join into the service or not? Or like, do you want him to take up something else, whatever he wishes? Tell us more about it.
No, I don't have one, and I don't plan to have one also.
Acha.
So that
Okay.
question is does not belong to me. But
Exists.
for anyone who is out there, I think civil service. It depends. See, there are a lot of factors into it because
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of commitment you have to give, and it's not actually what we think it is when we are maybe in college, and maybe we just see someone who is there, and then we by seeing some videos on YouTube or something,
Hmm.
which may give the wrong impressions of what it is actually.
Hmm.
So you have to be very clear what you want to do. And it is not only by joining civil service that you can help people. There are a lot of ways. Even if you are, I think the best profession is to of a teacher. So if you are a good teacher, you can touch so many lives. A
Hmm.
generation after generation, you are nurturing them, and if you can ensure
Exactly.
your students can turn into good human beings, I think there is nothing better than that.
True.
So we need good people in all professions. I think it's people should choose whatever they want to do. They should not just go with the crowd. If everybody is going one way, they should not follow that.
True.
So that
True.
is why we need career counseling at a very early stage, because
Yeah.
most of the youth, unfortunately, are still just following the what everyone else is doing.
Hmm.
They don't think before starting. So I think that has to change.
And would you like to give a message for today's youth?
Yes, youth, of course, we talk of demographic dividend. We keep on talking about it. India has the youngest population in the world, and other countries like Japan and China are aging, and their advantage is gone, and all that. But I think we need to start working and start using this demographic dividend. We are still in the process of talking and talking about it,
Yeah.
but yes, so we need to act, and all the youth, I think that is the time when your energies are at the peak. So most of the I would say many youth are they just lose this prime time into some kind of activities. I'm not saying that entertainment and other things and other things are you should totally stop, but I
Mm-hmm.
think at the prime of your life, you need to think about where in which direction you want to go,
Hmm.
what you want to ultimately do. Because if you don't take enough steps during this prime, you won't be able to achieve what you could have achieved, and later at a point of time, you should not regret that.
Hmm.
So use this high state of energy to explore the world, to do whatever you want to do, whatever it can be, anything.
Hmm.
But just first think about it, and do what take steps and work hard to achieve that. Because once you pass a certain threshold, then you just take start to go on a very slow pace. You don't like to take risk, and you tend to settle down.
Hmm.
So that never settle attitude is only in your youth.
Yeah.
So if you can continue that, I'm not saying youth ends. I mean, there are many people who are 60 years old, 80 years old, they are running marathons.
Yeah.
They have much more energy than the youth.
Hmm.
But actually youth is an attitude, and you should continue that.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter how old you are, but you
Hmm.
should be always be youthful. So I think
True.
that will be my message for the youth, to always be youthful, even when you age.
Thank you so much, Mr. Swapnil, for talking to us. It was a very enlightening session indeed, and we would look forward to speaking with you again. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me on the forum. Thank you.
We are honored, sir. Thank you so much. This was quite literally the star of Meghalaya, Mr. Swapnil Tembe. If you've enjoyed this session, please stay tuned as Indian Masterminds will soon come up with yet another silver star in the civil service. Thank you.